Hey everybody, good morning. Kyle Davis here, Integrity Financial Group. Great to see you, your retirement planner for Generation X and Millennials. Speaking of retirement, actually before that, speaking of this, for those who did not know, I actually do own dress clothes. Thank you very much. Just because we've been living in a COVID world of polos and blue jeans for the past 6 months doesn't mean we can't clean up well, right? There's been a bit of news in Central Florida lately. You may have heard this already. Back in September, Universal announced a large round of layoffs, and just today it was announced that Walt Disney Entertainment is laying off about 28,000 employees, 6,700 of those non-union in Central Florida here in our local market. Now, guys, that's going to send some really long-term ripple effects through our community, and if you or someone you know is connected to someone who is in that situation, I've been in your shoes before. For those who didn't know, I am actually a former Disney actor. I don't talk about it very much, but that up there on the very top left of your screen, that's a theater degree. These two behind me are financial degrees, but I was a full-time union actor at Disney for quite a while. 2007, summer of 2007 all the way through 2010. I had the great pleasure of playing a Jedi Master and also Captain Jack Sparrow. It was a fun time in my life, but I was let go. My contract didn't get renewed back in 2010, and look where I am today. Took a lot of stumbling and feeling things out to get here, but through mentorship and hard work and long hours, here we are with a profitable, fully functioning retirement planning practice. It's kind of amazing, but that's not the point today. The point is we want to help those who are going through this difficult time with not only the COVID year, but also being laid off. Some of those layoffs had been furloughed and then transitioning into, oh, maybe I'll get my job back, to no, I'm being fully laid off. That's a big problem. There's a lot going on in the lives of those individuals. I know how hard it is. I've been in those shoes. I've done that. It's not fun. But there are some things that are going to need to happen as you transition away from Disney, away from Universal. And guess what? That's why people like me are here to help consult and provide that information. And there's no cost for consultations. And I'll tell you at the end of this video the best ways to reach me. But just keeping in mind, one thing I do want to especially talk about is Disney has a great 401k plan. And when you are terminated from an employer or you leave work somewhere, you have a few options when it comes to your old 401k plan. And I want to go over 3 of those options with you today, just to give you some ideas of what's available to you. So we're going to talk about 3 options. Option number 1, you can leave it alone. You don't have to do a darn thing. Now, sometimes in plans, if you have a relatively small account, they can force you out into an IRA, but if you've been there for a while and you have a balance, established, usually they can't force you to leave the 401k. So unless you get a letter specifically telling you that you're going to be kicked out of the plan and you have this long, blah, 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 unless you specifically get some kind of notification, you don't necessarily have to do anything. You will continue to have the same investments you had before, the same options you had before. You will also continue to pay the same fees that you paid before. And that's something I want to stress to you. Just because you're not in the plan anymore does not mean that you're not paying any fees. In fact, most 401k investments are invested in mutual funds, and mutual funds have expenses, management fees. All funds have expenses and management fees and such, but mutual funds are typically a little more active than something like what we call exchange traded funds, ETFs. So just make sure you understand the cost factors of staying in that 401k. Most people who are participants in 401ks can't tell you what they pay in fees, and I feel like that is a problem. Option number 2, you can cash out. Actually, the CARES Act was passed earlier this year in response to COVID-19. It gave us some unprecedented flexibility as far as exceptions to rules of traditional retirement planning and IRS tax rules and things of that nature. And it also, one of the big things had to do with retirement plans. It allows for 401k withdrawals before age 59 and a half with no penalty. Usually there's a 10% early withdrawal penalty on any withdrawals that you make from a 401k plan prior to age 59 and a half. The CARES Act has waived that up to $100,000 in 2020. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Now, you still will owe the tax. You have to pay taxes on those monies that you withdraw, and it counts toward your income. So in other words, if you're, let's say, just for a quick example, your normal income is $50,000 a year, and then you take a 401k withdrawal for $25,000, even though you avoided the early withdrawal penalty, your income is not $50,000, your income will be $75,000. So that will affect you on a tax level. Even if you file jointly with your spouse, that could potentially bump you up both into a higher tax bracket. Just be very, very aware. Also, some really long-term implications to cashing out of a 401k or any retirement plan for that matter early. There is a reason those funds are earmarked for retirement. And a third option that you have, option number 3 that we want to put on the table, and this is something we can be involved in helping if you do want that helping hand. You can roll that account over. 401ks are directly able to be rolled over into an IRA. And when you do that, a few things happen for you. You're no longer restricted by the investment choices inside the 401k. In fact, you are able to invest in anything you want in a traditional IRA or Roth if you have Roth status funds. You have more freedom. You can invest as you choose. You take control of those funds. You can invest it yourself. You can use something called a robo-advisor online, which a lot of people like, or you can use an advisor like myself. I'm a retirement planning specialist, and we do a lot of 401k rollovers and IRA management. And the cool thing about working with an advisor, not to do a self-promotion or anything, because that's not the point of this video. I want to put some educational bits out there, but when you work with someone like me, I won't speak for anybody else, but when you work with me, we take your temperature as far as risk, as far as expenses, fees, retirement timeline, expectations, goals, dreams. And from there, we can determine a good recommendation for investments. You know, we don't just use a cookie cutter method. It's all done on a very individual basis. I'm very, very big on eliminating fees where possible for my clients' IRAs and Roths and such. So I wanted to put that out there. I have a lot of buddies, old Disney friends. A lot of my old Disney friends still work for the company, and boy, when I saw that announcement, it really hurt me. It really hurt my heart, because I know a lot of friends and people close to my friends are going to have to go through this. So another thing I want to put out there, if you need assistance budgeting, planning, even just having a game plan during the transition period, if you've been affected by these Disney and Universal layoffs, I want to make that available to you. There's no cost for consultation. If you just need to talk to somebody, if you just need to ask a question, or just run an idea by a professional, we're here to help. I am here to help. The best way to get in touch with me, my name is Kyle Davis. I'm a retirement specialist. I'm here in Orlando. My office is in East Orlando, Waterford Lakes. I'm actually inside of a law firm. The best way to get in touch with me is through our website. Go to financialservicesamerica.com. You can schedule a consultation. You can ask a question right on the website, and it'll take you where you need to go. If you need to get some time on my calendar or have me look at a statement or anything else for that matter. I'm going to go ahead and sign off, guys. Have a great rest of your week. Please share this video if you think it could help somebody that you love, who is important to you, and we can get the help to those people who need it most. Okay? So have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.